Thank you. I've been deaf all my life. Well, technically that's not really true. I was born a healthy baby, and I lost my hearing when I was 2 years old. I was bit by another kid in my daycare, and I contracted meningitis. In fact, this is why my friends call me the deaf spider boy. Like Spider-Man, I was bit, not by a spider, but by a small child. And I didn't gain any superpowers, but I did lose my hearing. And so I was implanted with a cochlear implant, which would give me the ability to hear. This was a high-risk, 20-hour surgery, and I was the last patient to go through the beta trials at the University of Iowa before it was released to the public. And after several months of hardships, my implant finally worked for me. One important thing to understand about the cochlear implant is that I hear artificially through electronic impulses. This is an illustration of a cochlear implant. Notice the wiring right here that's wrapped around the cochlea. The microphone on the outside receives sound and transmits an electronic impulse, which my hearing nerve then receives, interprets, and sends a message to the brain. It in no way is perfect or even achieves normal hearing, but it is certainly a gift to me. A few major pitfalls that I face are not being able to distinguish pitch or background noise. So if there were 30 conversations in this room, my implant wouldn't be able to distinguish the difference between the 29 other ones or the one that I'm participating in. If an air conditioner in a room is especially loud, I'll struggle to hear over the noise. I'm a deaf student here at Iowa State University. I receive all the accommodations that are required by law, including sign language interpreters and classroom accommodations. However, I learned that there are still many challenges and barriers that exist on campus. And I made this discovery when I attended Sci Cinema, a university-sponsored movie theater showing all the latest movies. I requested to have the closed captions turned on right before the movie started, so that I can enjoy the film just as any other student can. This was a simple request that literally required the flip of a switch. And after a lengthy period of various proposals that didn't work, the final solution that they offered me was that I could request to have the closed captions turned on right before a movie started. And this was a conflicting answer for me because this was a solution that worked for what I had requested. However, this information was available only to me and not to any other student. And so this didn't exactly benefit the other deaf, hard of hearing, or even non-native English speakers on campus. And what was just as disappointing is that the transaction of emails took place over a period of 2 months, a completely unreasonable amount of time to receive simple accommodations. And so I reached out to student disability resources on campus to share my story. And that's when I learned that there was nothing more that they could do to create a more inclusive environment. They simply had no power outside of the classroom to create more accommodations, or in one instance, to get people to their class. I met a student who uses a wheelchair, and when the elevator to her class on the 3rd floor broke, she relied on her boyfriend to carry her to class for 6 weeks. Another student who's visually impaired can't fully participate in social events. The reason? He can't stop to read flyers on bulletin boards, or because his text-to-audio program can't convert PDF files that are emailed to him. He relies solely on word of mouth to know what's happening in our community. And these are just 2 tragic examples of exclusion on campus. Myself, the students that I described, and 49 million other disabled Americans would benefit from inclusive design principles. And what exactly is inclusive design? Inclusive design tailors an environment to meet the needs of the people. And while it's nearly impossible to cater to the individual spectrum of 7 billion people on our planet, we can certainly create a flexible environment that can adapt and evolve to meet the needs of the people. And that's why inclusive design is so important. Inclusive design is for everyone, not just people with disabilities. there are many guiding principles that unknowingly make your lives easier as well as mine. And these all contribute to creating a welcoming space for people with disabilities. So we need to create environments that cater to people with diverse abilities. One example that we all know is the automatic opening door, commonly seen in grocery stores and other places of business. Whether you're in a wheelchair, pushing a shopping cart, or you have your hands full, you are able to safely enter and exit the building. And it also completely eliminates that awkward 8-second period of when you hold the door open for a stranger, and it turns out they're pretty far away. We need to create environments that can accommodate a wide range of individual preferences. When I visited the Anne Frank Museum in Amsterdam, the videos that they were playing had closed captions streaming in 6 different languages, allowing people, diverse people, to customize their experiences and access information in their own way. Let's make environments simple and easy to use. A design that is easily understood by anybody, regardless of experience, knowledge, education level, or language skill, can serve to benefit. Distress phones, commonly found in cities and on college campuses, are excellent examples. One push of a button instantly connects you with the police department who can assist you. And this device is so simple that even a child can use it in case of an emergency. We need to evaluate how perceptible information is. We should be able to communicate effectively, regardless of ambient conditions or users' sensory abilities. When I moved into my Greek house at the beginning of the school year, the fire alarms went off in the middle of the night. And because I take my Cochlear Implant off when I go to sleep, I can't hear anything. And as a result, I did not wake up. And I relied on my roommates to make sure that I was out of bed. This situation would have been prevented with a strobe fire alarm. And finally, we need to better plan the layout of our homes, our offices, our restaurants, and basically anywhere people are. Too frequently, we cram so much furniture into, for example, and I'm sure you can all relate to this, college dining halls. Here's a challenge. In a wheelchair, meet up with your friends in the center of this room. It's not so easy. This environment is inaccessible to people who use wheelchairs or are even obese. We need to ensure that appropriate size and space is provided for approach and use, regardless of the user's body size, posture, or mobility. In short, inclusive design serves to benefit everyone, whether you notice it or not. It makes parking your car easier, walking on sidewalks a breeze, and opening doors effortless. Inclusive design can be as simple as having clearly marked signage or lowering a reception desk to be welcoming of people in wheelchairs. An inclusive design architecture expert that I met, named Dr. Arvid Osterberg, said it best. We need to build to meet the needs of the people, not build to meet the minimum requirements. And that's what I want to shift the mindset to. Not just for building architecture, but for social situations like football tailgating and movie theaters, or implementing it on websites by closed captioning videos or having colorblind friendly toggles. If we can get in a mindset to plan for as many different people as we can when creating environments, it's going to be a lot easier, cheaper, and welcoming to accommodate a person when the need has been met proactively rather than reactively. Think of building a school without an elevator, and then realizing that you should have had one to start with. So I encourage you all to evaluate environments that you are a part of. Can a person with a disability have an equal opportunity to participate in or have a paralleled experience? And think beyond wheelchair ramps. Evaluate all of the elements and identify actions that you and your organization can take to be as inclusive as possible. In addition, demand accountability for those who do create environments. Just in the last month, deaf and hard of hearing people campaigned for the White House to caption its videos on social media, and they finally addressed the needs of the people. By advocating for inclusive design, we will tear down institutional barriers and allow people, regardless of ability, to have an equal opportunity to participate in and feel welcome in our society. Thank you.